Your case stories, your customer stories, and videos of them are probably one of the most valuable things that you can capture and create. It can vastly improve every single marketing campaign, from your website to SEO to email campaigns to conversion to obviously YouTube, the second most used search engine. We've used this in trade shows and then in sales, from prospecting to explaining how you all work, to proposals, increasing the conversion rate of your proposals up to 32%, and operations to inspire your team, train your team. All these things can come out of your case stories. We can use these to improve your positioning, and we always do. We find hooks and angles, probably one of the most valuable things in marketing. And I'm going to go through the process of how we do that and how we do the interview process right now, but I want you to realize that it takes time, right? It takes effort. You wouldn't expect an attorney just to walk in and do a deposition of a witness without doing research, without preparing questions ahead of time, without knowing the facts of the case and where we want the case to go. You wouldn't expect a journalist to go to an interview not knowing anything about the story, anything about the person they're interviewing. No, they do tons of research. And that's what we're doing in this process. We have very specific people all along the way. Now, the process might seem a bit overwhelming to you. We take care of it. I mean, you can go do it yourself, but we find the best people to do each piece of this process so we can get you those results. So let's talk about the process of the case story interviews. First of all, before we even start with the interview, we know your goals. What are your business goals, your current business goals, your current campaigns, your current marketing campaigns, your current sales campaigns? Where do you want to go? And then we decide on your best customers in the tackle box. If it's a specific customer, we will go through that customer and that client and go through their story. We're going to learn as much as we can from you about their connection, conflict, conclusion. We're going to talk through that. If you haven't been through a tackle box before, we do an in-depth questionnaire about it. We talk about imagery we might want, metrics we might want, your process with them, when their first big win was. We want to know these things ahead of time, because we can also, when we start discussing this, we'll help you to find new positioning statements, hooks that would grab people's attention, the angles that correspond, the concepts like customer service. That's an angle, but you want to find the hook around it. So we will go all through all of that so we can make sure that we have the best questions possible and the best interview possible. Once we've gone through that, two things are going to happen. We're going to give you the text to introduce us. All you have to do is ask them for their story. We're going to give you that text. We'll give you the email, and then introduce our team. We will give you all those email templates. Once you introduce our team, they will take care of the entire scheduling process, which in itself is a ton of work, because you got to follow up. You got to schedule, reschedule, right? And you want to make sure the client is as comfortable as possible. Along the same times, we will then craft questions around that pre-interview that we did with you in the tackle box. We are going to craft these questions, and for each of these questions, we want connection, conflict, conclusion, those big wins. We will make sure to customize the questions. We have a list of about 40 standard questions, but we want them completely custom for you. We're not going to go through questions this way, because once we get on the interview, our interviewers are amazing, right? They know how to make the person feel comfortable. That's why we get such amazing feedback from them. And I want to make sure, that because we want to make sure that your client is comfortable, has an amazing experience, because it's your client, right? And I've seen this before. People just send a videographer out, or just ask them to say something on their phone, and it turns out bad, and it makes it awkward for the client. We want this to be an absolutely amazing experience, and that's why we have amazing interviewers. And not only are the interviewers skilled in making them feel comfortable, the interviewers are also digging for that information. They're looking for the story. So we'll see sometimes when a question falls flat, and also sometimes we'll see that there's additional stories there and dig deeper. We're looking for moments and emotions. We're looking for those hooks. for those angles. So that interview takes anywhere from 15 up to 40 minutes. A lot of people on Zoom will just talk a lot. And that's why we like doing these digital interviews, the remote interviews first, is because it prepares people. Even if you're going to have them on film, it prepares them ahead of time so they're less nervous when there are cameras, when there are lights, when there is a video team, and it's less intimate. After that is when a lot more of the magic happens. So the interview process is amazing. And you'll have in your tackle box a link to the interview, and we'll transcribe it. So you'll have a transcription. But then from there, our team of strategists is going to go through and pull out the angles, those concepts that are important to you. And we're going to pull out the hooks as well. What are the big hooks? And in marketing, a hook is something that grabs someone's attention. And it's the most valuable thing you will have in your marketing, really. I mean, I always talk about Motown. There's an amazing documentary about Motown called Hitsville. And they talk about how they would spend days on the hook of a song because they knew that's what was going to grab someone's attention. And that was back in the day when we had to have 2 or 3 radio stations on. Now people have infinite choices. So these hooks will improve your email subject lines, improve your website headlines, improve all of your videos, improve your ads. These are all crucial pieces. And we're going to pull those out for you before we even get started on videos. So you will have these in there. So anytime you start a marketing campaign, you can use this tool that we've created for you and find it in there. After the hooks and angles, we'll tell you about any big discoveries you make, and then we'll look for keywords. We're going to look for any types of keywords that you might want to use in SEO. I can't tell you how many times I found super valuable keywords that don't show up on any keyword report. And we're going to find those for you. We might have 1 or 2 per interview. After that, we've got your hooks, your angles, your keywords. We're going to make a list of all the possible videos that you should be making with this interview. We will tell you about micro content, long form, short form, other types of videos, process videos, about us videos, video blog posts, all types of content that you can make starting with the video that we just shot. And we will tell you about the platforms. That's what's amazing here is because the platforms are going to change. I think YouTube is not going anywhere, but Facebook is going to change. TikTok's here right now. LinkedIn might be appropriate for you. Email. We will talk about those platforms, and we'll talk about the videos that you should make for them, the styles that you should make. Should it be short form, long form, portrait, landscape, as well as any keywords and concepts for the videos, and how often you should use them. Because some of these videos you're going to want to use 2, 3, 4 times. This is how you get the most out of your case story interview process. And that's why we call this the CSI, the case story investigation, because this case story investigation is going to give you so many ideas and such valuable research into your marketing. And to do this level of research, some consultants charge tens of thousands of dollars for doing this level of research with 3 or 4 of your customers. On top of it, you're going to have video and assets to use that will be invaluable for the next 5, 6, 7, 8 years, help you to stand out from your competition. And you'll see now why we put so much into it and the value of this process. Because now when we go to make videos and you decide what videos you want to make, we will have a list of them. We know exactly where they're going to be used, exactly how they're going to be used, whether they're cold, warm, or hot versions. And we can prioritize it and make sure you're utilizing these interviews for years to come.